Welcome to Frequency Matters, the RF and microwave update. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Gary Lerude. It's April, so it's time to start talking about the International Microwave Symposium, as thousands of engineers will be converging on San Francisco in May. Our April issue is our IMS themed issue, and we have lots of coverage in there about the event. We have everything from the exhibition to the conferences, special sessions, the keynotes. All that will be covered in the issue, so make sure you take a look at that before you head out to San Francisco.
Right.
We've been kind of had unprecedented consolidation in our industry lately over the last couple of years. So we thought we'd talk about, for the cover feature, the big merge.
Right.
So we take a look at a couple of the biggest mergers in our industries, which were the Triquin RFMD combination to form Qorvo, and also ADI's acquisition of Hittite. And Gary, you did a great job writing that article, and maybe you can give us a little more detail about it.
Sure, thank you. We thought it would be interesting for our readers, other than just a pure technical article, to maybe highlight some of the consolidation, as Pat noted, that's taking place in the industry. So we did pick Qorvo and Analog Devices, and both companies graciously agreed to supply information for the article. So it was fun to put it together, to be able to do a bit of a perspective on sort of the factors that drove the consolidation from the outside view, and then each company provided their own inside views of what drove the consolidation strategically and how they kind of merged the two independent cultures into a single culture. So I think folks should find it very interesting.
Yeah, it's a great read, so check it out.
What else is in that issue?
So we have a big coverage area for IMS, as I mentioned, and we have coverage of the three conferences. So that's the IMS, RFIC, and RFTAG conferences, and each chairman gives a piece about their event, what are the new things that they added, and some special events that they have going on. And then we also cover the keynotes, special sessions, and then there's a big portion on the exhibition. So I reached out to about 20 of the largest exhibitors at the event and asked kind of what they're going to be highlighting at their booth in the exhibition. So you get a nice preview of what's going to be happening. And we also have a whole new product section, and that's labeled by booth number and aisle, so it's easy to navigate through the exhibition using that and the floor plan that we supply. So
well, that's good. It always takes at least a day to kind of get your bearings.
Yeah, so you'll be able to get a preview of how it's all laid out and plan your attack as you head out to San Francisco.
Perfect. Perfect.
What else did we have on technical feature side?
Well, the issue, as you noted, is our biggest one of the year, and some people have jokingly referred to it as a phone book. And part of that is because we have a lot of technical features. We basically have 5 features that have been reviewed by our technical board and approved that cover a variety of topics. We have also an Industrial Internet of Things article that's quite interesting. We have 3 app notes in the issue covering temp comp, thermal rise in printed circuit boards, and RF power detectors. And then we have a perspective piece or special report on 5G and millimeter wave communications. So something for everybody, I think, in the issue.
Yeah, well, I think that's great. It'll be distributed in the bags, in the delegate bags at the event, and there'll be copies in our booth. So it'll be kind of good to take that, all types of different technical information plus the show information.
Right, it'll be a great issue.
So turning to the news.
Yes.
I saw that ABI Research announced that they, as the evolution toward 5G happens, they see a very huge amount of network densification and deployment of small cells. And they're actually predicting more than 1 million sub-6 gigahertz backhaul links will be deployed by 2020. So we've always talked about the big, surge of small cells, and we haven't really seen that yet. But it looks like 2016 might be the year for that. And even mobile experts agreed. They released an announcement that said they expect more than 100% growth in just 2016 for multiple sectors of the small cell market.
I thought it was that one of the things that was most interesting about that, I thought, was the fact that the bands are sub 6 gigahertz. This report said they projected 35% market share, basically, by 2020 in the under 6 gigahertz band. And of course, all the press has been around E-band, so it'll be interesting to see that it's actually going to be lower in frequency.
Yeah, and that's despite that there's going to be a lot of competition from Wi-Fi and DAS systems. So even with that growing, they're still going to see significant growth.
Right. I think the next few years will be quite interesting to see this whole thing play out.
Yes. How about you? Did you see anything that caught your eye?
Yeah, there continue to be some consolidations, but one of the ones that kind of tweaked me is a little company called Gig Optics that's about a $40 million business, bought Magnum Semiconductor, or announced they were buying them, and they're changing their name to Gig Peak, and they're kind of shifting their focus. And it reminds me that a lot of companies have done the same thing or are doing the same thing. Sort of in our parallel world to our microwave RF space, all of the data, at least from a communication standpoint, ultimately gets put into fiber optic networks. Right. And whether it's long haul or metro, or now even in the data center, it's going to fiber optics. So what you've seen is that interface between the optical and the sort of electrical signals has been a place that really plays to the microwave strength. So companies like Qorvo have played in this space for decades, also Avago before they became Broadcom. And you're seeing more and more companies kind of moving or pivoting to that space as well. MACOM is a great example. Right. They've made a number of acquisitions over the last several years and have really built a strong business there. And this little acquisition by Gig Optics and renaming themselves Gig Peak is another reflection that the industries are kind of moving together. And as people talk about photonics, where you actually on a single integrated circuit would have light processing as well as electrical processing, and as the wireline business goes to higher and higher data rates, I think we're going to see a lot more commonality between the two industries. So yes, something to watch.
Well, that kind of fits right in with our EDICon event plan, is that we're talking about high-speed digital electronics, right, and signal integrity. The techniques they use there are very similar to what we use in the microwave world, just kind of use different nomenclature, exactly, but the science behind it is all similar.
Yeah.
So for EDICon China will be taking place April 19th through the 21st in Beijing. So that's coming up very soon. And we're combining co-location with EMC China and also the Chinese Radar Industry Association. So it'll be a really big event covering both military, EMC, EMI, and RF and microwave topics. And we'll have a 5G demo area. We have a new track this year on silicon on insulator technology, keynoted by Global Foundries. So a lot going on in that event. And then in EDICon USA, which is taking place in September in Boston, big new announcement. The honorary chairman was announced as Eli Bruckner. So Dr. Bruckner is very famous in the radar industry, probably one of the most well-known in the world. Right. And he recently retired a few years ago from Raytheon after 50 years, more than 50 years of service there.
That's great. He'll be a great addition.
Yeah, he'll be kicking off the event.
Excellent. So a couple other things related to events. We're back from, of course, Mobile World Congress. We did some videos over there of various demos from some of the key players, Anritsu, National Instruments, Keysight, and Rohde & Schwarz. And so if you check out the website, the Microwave Journal website, in our media page, you'll be able to watch some of those if you weren't able to go to Mobile World Congress. All of them are very interesting. And then upcoming, we have the WAMICon show, April 11th through 13th, which is an annual event held in Florida. This year it's going to be at Clearwater Beach.
Right.
So that ought to be interesting.
Yep, we're always involved in that event too.
Anything else you can think of?
I think that about wraps it up.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for watching, and we want to thank our sponsors, Mini Circuits. You can find out all about Mini Circuits products at their website, minicircuits.com. And we want to welcome Analog Devices as a sponsor for this episode. Analog Devices has products that go from bits to the antenna, and you can find out more information at their website at analog.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you on the next episode.